In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the easiest and most powerful way to extend FileMaker data into a dashboarding application. The dashboarding application is called ChartPoint, and the graphical user interface is very, very simple. You'll notice that you can simply stop and start the server. Now that it's started, it essentially hosts this dashboard application to any web browser. And so if you click on Open ChartPoint in a browser, then it will do just that. It'll actually open it straight into a browser, as you can see in this window that I have sort of overlaid here. The reason I want to display this here quickly is that this means you can host your FileMaker data to a browser without using a concurrent license or requiring the end user to have a copy of FileMaker. And so your FileMaker data, while it lives on your FileMaker server, can now be shared with users of an iPad or a computer without requiring FileMaker and without requiring the expense of additional concurrent licenses. Furthermore, it allows directly on any web browser the ability to export reports and to view those in PDF format, Excel files, or PNGs. That is just built right in. So if you press this button and you happen to be on an iPad, then it would open the image immediately for you. I'll show you really quickly that through FileMaker I pressed that button, and what it did was it actually created the chart PNG and dropped it right into my downloads folder. If we would like to do something like maybe export a report, this is a PDF, and there are many options here, but I'll just choose, I'll choose to generate a multi-page PDF based on the birth month of each of the individuals. So we'll get this weekday type image once per each month as referenced in this database field. I'm going to go ahead and include the chart data. So I'll hit generate right here. Again, this is on any web browser or through the FileMaker web viewer. And here you can see the result. I'll go ahead and open it. It generated a multi-page PDF of the graphic that we had requested essentially. Let me go ahead and show you. Here's January's results. And I told it to include the chart data, so it did. And it'll go through and show February and March and so on. It is a very powerful way to quickly not only generate your graphics, but then to share them as well. I'm going to go ahead and show you, before we get into the FileMaker details here, I'm going to show you how quickly it can be to generate these views. So FileMaker itself has charting built into it. Furthermore, there are demonstration videos that you can watch to introduce Java scripting libraries. The problem with those is that they're either too complicated or simply not dynamic enough for most. That's where ChartPoint really steps in here, and all you need to know how to do is drag elements around on a web page, and you can generate your own graphs very quickly and easily. So if somebody asks you to find the average number of payments per each day of the week for a given data set, you can simply choose the weekdays, you can count the results here, and you can average the number of payments as easily as that. And if they decide that they wanted the graph to, instead of weekdays, be months of the year, then you can simply change the weekdays to the months, and within about 5 seconds you have an entirely new graph. And now if you wanted to export this, instead of based on the months, you could change it to weekdays. You'd get a multi-page PDF of about 7 pages or 8 or 9 pages if we included the chart data. To do that in the built-in dashboards or through a Java scripting library would take a lot more effort, and it would require a developer to do that. Whereas this gives the same type of complex data analytics to all users without having to know any code at all. I can quickly change this graph again, remove the line, and instead of visualizing months, I can visualize the states in the data set, and there are a few states in the data set. So again, very, very quick, very, very powerful. We can go ahead and add series based on weekdays and split these states up based on weekdays, and we can go ahead and drill into each of these by months. And so if we wanted to see the number or the breakdown of the months for these 735 records, then I click right here and it gives me the volume per each month for Wednesdays. So again, very powerful features here. One thing as well I'd like to note is that if you press and hold Alt, which is indicated by this information tooltip, then it shows now only those 735. So the table below now is only the records for those 735, and you'll notice that they're all just displayed right here, easily accessible. I'm going to go ahead and export the table data, and what that will do is it will place the Excel file right into the downloads folder. So those are sort of the high-level features of ChartPoint. If you go to chartpoint.solutions, I'm going to go ahead and take you to the web page here really quickly. Here you will find additional training videos and an ability to purchase a copy of ChartPoint. But in these training videos, this list of videos will grow. You can see here that there are column, pie, and bubble charts as of the timing of this video. But there will soon be a line chart option as well. And one of the newest features is dashboards, and I will cover that here in just a little bit. But I want to clear this out and actually start talking more about FileMaker and how FileMaker can interact with the power of ChartPoint. So this particular solution that we're using is a product, a free download from SalientConsulting.com. If you go to SalientConsulting.com and search for a test data generator, you'll see videos that, or at least one video that they play there, and you can watch how they came up with the logic to do this, and then you can download this particular file as part of that. It's really a pretty neat solution, and the reason that I wanted to use it for this demo is because it allows us to create multiple records and to use test values to fill these in. And so it's really a good way to just test and play around with ChartPoint because A, it's incredibly easy to tie in ChartPoint to any solution, and particularly this solution, if you want to increase the number of records, then it's a snap to do that. So I encourage you to check out Salient Consulting for this test data generator. I'm going to go ahead and come back to FM Chart. This is the layout that I added. And all I did to add it was to come into layout mode, and I added a web viewer. So those of you familiar with FileMaker know you can click on this and just draw the web viewer right here into place. Once it's in place, it'll ask you which website you want to point to, and we're going to go ahead and point to the one that is hosted by ChartPoint. And that's it. It's very, very simple. The only other thing you'll want to note is that if you come to the inspector, you'll want to make sure that the lock is on all sides of the auto sizing section under the position tab. That'll make sure that no matter what size your FileMaker solution is, that the web browser will take up the entire space. The only other thing that I did was I actually added these layout elements. It is very important that these layout elements are on the layout. These are the elements that are going to be displayed in ChartPoint. So down here, the options that we have to drag and drop elements around come from what is on the layout. Now we're hiding those. You don't need to hide them. If you wanted them to be displayed above here, then you could just resize things accordingly, but I'm choosing to hide them. So I want to show you how to connect to a FileMaker dataset. For the test data generator, the first thing you need to do is you need to manage the security. Now, FileMaker does offer a $99 annual subscription to their developer portal, and it allows you to download FileMaker Server. It's a limited version of FileMaker Server, and you cannot have more than a few simultaneous connections, whether it's Go or FM Pro or those sorts of things. But it does give you access to Server, and ChartPoint does not need more than one connection to the server through the XML connection. And so the version that you can download from the developer portal will allow ChartPoint to pass the capability for dashboarding to any number of outside recipients, irrespective of the number of paid concurrent licenses that you have in your ChartPoint portfolio. So again, it's a really cost-effective way to share data without requiring the users or the consumers of your data, A, to have FileMaker, and B, to if they do have FileMaker, you don't have to have as many concurrent licenses purchased. So let's go ahead and come into my security settings here. I have this username, and I've got full access as my privilege set. The only thing you need to do is you need to come to extended privileges, and you need to make sure that FM app has full access in this case, and FM XML has full access. That will allow you to upload it to FileMaker Server and to allow ChartPoint to connect to XML. We like to have FM app access turned on so that through FileMaker we can make changes and manipulate how it's all working. So here we have FM chart again as the layout name. I've made a few changes to the security as illustrated, and then I've already shared this, but if you haven't shared it yet, you simply upload it to your server. So it's very simple to get it hosted on your server and to integrate ChartPoint right into the solution. I'm going to go ahead now and connect to this particular database. So I'm going to go ahead and import data, and you can see that there are multiple sources to import. This list will also be growing. MySQL here is out here by itself. I'm going to go ahead and come and link to FileMaker. And here I just filled these fields out. You've got localhost, or the IP or URL of where ChartPoint is hosted. The database name is test data generator with the appropriate credentials. The layout name is simply right here, and that's all. That will synchronize and link ChartPoint with FileMaker. So I'm going to go ahead and save this, and you can see this is the table that we can open. And the elements that are available to us are the ones that are on the layout. So you can see we now have this FM import button. And if I come into layout mode, we've got gender all the way through company right here. And you can see that we have gender all the way through company. And so we're going to play with this data just a little bit, and then I'm going to show you some really powerful features. Let's go ahead and just try to visualize something. We're going to go ahead and try to see a very simple graph of how many individuals are male versus female. Okay, so we have that breakdown right there, and I'm going to suggest that we add a little bit of information here. Let's go ahead and, well, I don't want to use. I'm going to show you a new feature actually. If you click on one of these headers, it'll allow you to filter a whole bunch of details out. So I'm just going to choose C, and we'll go ahead and assume that we want to have just these three states. So I filter out those. Now we see that the numbers have changed drastically. And if I want to drag this over here and further split these categories into series, you can see again that we've done that. So now we have the gender of the data set broken down by their states. So really, really simple. We're going to go ahead and increase this again so that we don't have so few records displaying. And we're going to actually add more information here. We're looking at this and we decide, you know what, we've forgotten something. We need more information. And so I'm going to go ahead and come into layout mode. And we're going to go to the field picker and we're going to add a new column so that we can play with a new column. But looking here, and there isn't enough information. There's not a column that is of interest to me. And so I'm going to go ahead and come into the database and I'm going to add a column. I'm going to go ahead and add a column right here very, very quickly and easily. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the age. Okay, so we're going to say that we want to know the age of these individuals. So we go ahead and add a calculation field. And I'm going to go ahead and create the age really quickly. That will show me the number of years. And now I'm going to go ahead and find something that's random and arbitrary. And I'll just say, we'll just do something for note length. And we will create another field here that uses the length feature, and we'll count the characters in each of the notes. So they're completely unrelated, but the point here is that we have now two new data elements, and it's very simple to add those. All I now need to do is add them to my layout. So we'll go ahead and we'll drag them over here. We'll exit the layout, and we'll simply update our data set. So we update the data set. You can see that it flashed, and now we have, let me go ahead and refresh this. Sometimes we need to refresh by stepping through one record. And now we have age and note length. So now I can go ahead and I can establish some trend for the average age of the males and the females. And if you hover over here, it'll show that the average age here is 81, and here it's also 81. So you can see that the Y scale, I put it on its own Y scale, and it knows how to scale that accordingly. Now if we want to go to note length, and we're going to go ahead and average the length of the notes that were typed, you'll see that the average number of characters is 58 versus 57 in the notes field. So again, just a really quick demo on how this works. I'm going to go ahead and save this session. We're going to save this session and just call it FM contacts there. And I'm going to save this. Now if I come to dashboard, I can make a new dashboard, and I encourage you to go to the ChartPoint Solutions website and watch the videos on the dashboards. But we can go ahead and come to a new dashboard, and we can just call this the same as we did the session. When we come to a dashboard, you'll notice that the session that we have been playing with and testing with is right here, and we can add these elements straight onto here, and we can add multiple elements from multiple different data sources. I'm going to go ahead and add this one as well, and I'm going to go ahead and remove one of these top ones, and I will tell this to refresh these data sources every 10 minutes. And so what you can see here is that we have added very quickly, I deleted both of them on accident, so it's really quick for me to go ahead and just make these changes and add this again. There, you can see that we've quickly and easily added new data elements to this dashboard. Now, if I want to see the breakdown of the females and the males, but by state, then I can choose to select, actually we'll do by language. We'll go ahead and just choose by language. And you can see that it has created one chart per each unique language in the database. And it's doing four languages across because that's what's selected here. And we're going to go ahead and extend this just a bit so that we can see that a little better. And then we'll come down here and maybe we'll group this one by the months. And so again, you'll see here that we've got the same sort of thing. We have now a dashboard that shows data from two different tables. One of them is a FileMaker table and one of them is not. And the one from FileMaker Let me go ahead and just turn off edit mode. So now here is our dashboard that is readily accessible from any browser in the world. And if we want to change the look of every one of these elements, again, instead of going into JavaScript and making changes to a whole bunch of code, all we need to do is come back to the session, and we need to make one small change. We're going to take out note length, and we'll just take out note length actually, and we'll just update this. And you'll come back to the dashboard, to the FMC dashboard, and you'll notice that all of them update themselves. One thing I haven't really covered is pie charts or bubble charts. Again, those are in our other tutorials, but we could move these elements to the left or right. We could go ahead and make some room. Let's say that we could squish this in a little bit. We could make some room for some pie charts right in here. If we come to the demo, I'll show you, you can come in here and play with the different types of data elements that can be added. If we come to pie chart, then you could make quick and easy looking pie charts that could be added to the side of a dashboard, for example. And so again, there's quite a bit of power in the ability to produce visualizations without knowing a single line of code. We've done all of this work very fast, very efficiently, and we have not needed to know a single line of code. The only thing we needed to do this, to build this, was a simple calculation so that we could add this line for age. One of the calculations allows this line for age to display, and that's really the only bit of code that was needed. And just to show you again how little that really was, it was right here, and it's totally optional. So the more advanced FileMaker developers will really get a lot of added benefit and functionality out of their knowledge, and those who aren't so well versed with FileMaker can still do a lot of database analytics and dashboarding simply by dragging and dropping fields around and following this tutorial a bit. So appreciate your time watching this video, and jump on over to chartpoint.solutions for more information.